This video tutorial shows you how to create a design using the toolkit. We're going to use this example, which includes shapes, text, and pictures. We'll start with a blank canvas and build our page one step at a time. First of all, you need to choose your background, and you can do that by selecting from the left-hand menu. You can move these panels out the way just simply by dragging it to the left or to the right. And you can choose from an array of different images sorted in different folders. So for example, or this one, or maybe something a little more abstract. But we wanted the vintage one that you saw in the preview. You don't even have to have an image, you can choose a colour, and there's loads of colours to choose from. So we've chosen our background, now we're going to build the page, and we're going to do this by adding shapes, which you can select from the left hand menu. We're going to place some text holders in the document. So I'm selecting this top one for the title, just resizing it. I can use this button to align it to the page. I've just aligned that centrally, and I'm using the arrows on the keyboard just to move it down. I'm going to change the colour by pressing on the paint bucket. I've changed it white, and this here changes to transparency, so I'm going to set it down to 75. You can just see through that a little so the background pattern comes through. I'm going to place a shape for my main content. Just going to resize it a little. Again, I'm going to change the colour. I'm going to change it to white. Move it around, make sure it aligns properly to the left. And using the arrow keys, I'm just bringing it down. And again, I'm going to set the transparency level to 75. And I'm going to add one final shape just so we can put the company information in there. Just move it, align it to the left, resize it, make sure it's the same size as the one above. Just moving it down with the arrows. Just aligning the page a little bit better. Move these around. I'm just going to change the colour once again. And the transparency settings. Next, we're going to add the text. Now, I've prepared this in a document, and I recommend that you do so you can save it and copy and paste the text. So copy the text, click the text icon on the left-hand menu, and paste. Sometimes when you do this the first time, it doesn't appear or the changes don't reflect. So what we suggest you do is select it and change the font by clicking Format Text and just choosing any other font. Now, the problem should disappear. Next, we're going to just go through and copy and paste the text. We can worry about the formatting later. Let's just get all of the text in there. So we're going to follow the same process. Copy, click the text icon, and paste. We'll do it again. Click the text icon somewhere on the page and paste. I'm going to resize this a little because it comes in quite large. But we're going to deal with the majority of the formatting after we've got all of the text on the page. So again, copy, text icon, paste. 2 more times for good measure. Each selection that you paste, you're able to change the formatting of each individual section. So if we do it in chunks, you can create different looks and feels for different segments within your design. So copy and paste one last time. Just going to make sure this is on the page. Drag it to the left. We're ready for formatting. To format the text, select the element you want and click Format Text. Now choose the font you want just by scrolling down. I'm going to choose RoboSlab, which is my particular favourite at the moment. I'm going to resize my header. That looks good. And I'm going to choose the same font all the way through because I want a bit of consistency. Again, RoboSlab. I should have chosen something beginning with A. It would have been easier. I'm going to align this to the center of the page because it's my title. Just click on that icon and the center of the page. You can do it vertically or horizontally. Now we're going to go through and just change and resize some of the text, make it fit better. Selecting Robo Slab once again, resizing, just dragging it to fit. Now I want to increase the line height, and you see I've just made it to 2, and it just makes it a little easier to read. And you can make your letters wider or narrower, little things like that, or you can align it left, center, or make something bold. Now I'm just going to do these finer little bits. Quite repetitive this stage, but it's good just to make sure everything looks good and is easy to read on the page. So we shrink that down. Just tidy this up a little bit. And the final one, Robo Slab once again. Resize it, bring it down, and position it. We're going to click off here. Just look at the page. So if you need to unselect anything, just click somewhere off the page. And that's your text added. Now I'm just going to show you something. If you select the shape behind the text, you might not be able to select the text again. So just click off the page and reselect the text. So we're going to change colors. You just select the element, click the paint bucket, and you've got lots of colors to choose from. Choose a dark green. I think I'm going to go for a lighter green. This one. Okay, and it's just a case of working through each element and choosing your colors. You see it remembers the colors that you've chosen. And I'm going to keep this color scheme going. I quite like it. And again, dark green. Light green. Dark green again. We're just going to make sure the page is aligned properly, so I'm going to centralize these again. And we're just going to make that a little bigger. And that's us finished with the text. Now we're going to brighten up the page, and we're going to use images. So select the image panel from the left. You can upload your own, or alternatively you can choose from our picture gallery of licensed images. Now just drag it into your design and resize it. Now drag it along. You can position it next to any other elements that you've got on your page. I'll resize it a little bit more. I'm going to fill this right hand side, so I'm going to add another picture. So we're going to just resize that against the existing image so it aligns nicely. Just going to use the arrow buttons on my keyboard to pull that down. Now one last image, and again resizing it using one of the other images for size guide. Let's get it the right size, and using the arrow keys I'm just bringing it down, aligning the page up a little bit, and that's our images. But what I want to do, I want to use some shapes to give them a border and make them look a little better and stand off the page. So we're going to add some shapes, and from the left hand shape option, select shapes. I'm going to go for a basic one. I'm going to go for a square. I'm going to just move it. Now you can arrange it to the back so it's behind the picture using that icon, and resize it so it looks nice as a border. Now I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change it to white so it fits in with the rest of the design. And what I can do is I can actually select that shape again, and down at the bottom I can click copy and paste, and it pastes it in exactly the same place. And I can use my arrows to bring it down, and I'm going to put it behind that picture. I'm just going to resize it so it fits with the border for this slightly different shaped sized image. I'm going to paste that shape once again, moving it down, put it behind, just going to resize it. That's looking good. Now we've got this space here, so I'm going to use a shape again, but I'm going to use a floral swirl. And I like this shape, but I think I want it the other way around. So you can select round the corner and you'll see the cursor changes to show that you can rotate, and just drag it round the rotation you want, and you can rotate anything, whether it's a picture, text, whatever you like. I'm just going to resize this, shrink this shape down, make it fit. I want to change the color. I'm just going to align it first so it's in the center of the page like the rest of the titles. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I want to change the color now, so select the paint bucket, but rather than a solid color I'm going to go for a gradient. And you can see here these two bars. You select one, not that way, you select one and select a color, that's one half of the gradient. Select the other half and you'll see it turns from light green to dark green. But we're going to change it round so it goes from dark green to light green. And that looks good. So we're pretty much finished. That's what the finished design looks like. And you see, it's not difficult. It's just really understanding what button does what and getting to grips with how to navigate the system.